Oh boy. This is it's gonna be a bit of a slog. How goes it, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Emmett. As always, please. Ah crap, I can't even do my own intro anymore. How goes it, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Emmett, and as always, please do your own research. I am but one talking head amongst a sea of many, and I'm looking at things from a 30,000 foot view. Now, where do I even start with this one as soon as my phone shuts up? You all know my feelings when it comes to certain online personalities, and I will stand by that till the day that either A, they change, or B, I die. One of those two things is always destined to fucking happen. And so far, my opinion has been unchanged about it. My last two videos, I said my piece, and I walked off. And that's what I honestly think I'm just going to start treating YouTube as a thing now, but it's been about a minute. Long story short, when it comes to Ethan Klein, H3H3 Productions, I don't have too much of a track record on this guy. He said some very stupid shit, and it finally got to the point to where apparently his own audience started flaying him alive for everything that he's done, and it looks like he's evening out. I can't agree with everything that he's done, much like everybody else, but at least he's evening out, so I'll give him the credit of that. However, the reason I take particular interest with this video is that things might, depending on how it goes, and I'll give you my opinions at the end of the video, be going somewhere in the right direction, but I'm not going to exactly put a fine point on that. It all depends on how the rest of this plays out. Now, be forewarned, unfortunately, I've already seen this video, I believe, like 2 or 3 times. Sorry, it is what it is. I watched ahead. It's not a first and foremost live reaction, but I can get as close to live as possible with you guys. Video today by H3H3 Productions. I'm suing these 3 creators. Like I said, this is it's gonna be a slog. So, oh boy, let's do it.
Hi there, my name is Ethan Klein, and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today I invite you into my home to share my favorite pastime with you. Join me in creating generational wealth for my attorney.
Okay, now real quick before we actually get into it, I will say I did chuckle a little bit at the start of this. Oh boy. For many people who sits on the sidelines and watched litigation go from where it was to where it is now, especially over the last, I'll date myself a little bit here and say 30 goddamn fucking years. Yeah, things have been getting a little spicy, a little juicy, a little frivolous, one might say. But in the case of this, well, I don't really think it's going to go in the frivolous direction. Although I will say there might be some generational wealth involved. There might be some people actually having to just A, cut their shit out, or B, just remove themselves from the equation that is streaming. Or actually just being a public figure. But we'll get into that when we get into that.
Let me tell you guys a story. About a year and a half ago, there's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously, they would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video. Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video.
Now, ironically enough, I actually do remember this incident very well. It was unfortunately when Hassan was gaining more and more popularity, but this was also during the rise. Well, actually, not even during the rise, but this was kind of sort of near the fall. Just about all near. It's hard for me to explain this crap, but when the fall of what is essentially freebooting content had essentially started. Now, if you go across YouTube, does it still exist? Unfortunately, yes. You just got lazy people out there, or in some cases, you just have people who are trying to archive shit, and it's kind of sort of hard to tell between the two, but stay online long enough and you'll be able to tell very clearly who's doing it for archiving purposes and who's doing it just to usurp content. In the case of Hassan, as well as many others, you could even go far as saying, who's this? Who did iDubbbz clown on a while ago? I never watched iDubbbz growing. I think it was Jinx or someone of that nature, just freebooting content. And actually, who's also that Naruto bitch? The one with a huge ass forehead, either Irish, British, she had a European, I want to say, Irish, British, Scottish, one of these fucking accents, huge ass forehead, freebooted Naruto videos that that I'm pretty sure Japan would not be cash money with. Yeah, and the YouTube community actually dealt with her real fucking swift before anybody else, I believe, actually got a hold of her. So kudos for YouTube for cleaning that up. But I'm droning on. I do remember this controversy. This is why we give credit to people. It's really not that hard. It's not difficult. It takes quite literally 10 seconds out of your fucking time, and it saves you from a whole lot of hassle in the future. Give credit where credit is due, even if you're watching it, or even if you're just kind of sort of absent-mindedly listening in the background.
Of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work, or they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission, something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos.
Now, I will also say this, when it comes to reaction videos, I don't, and this is just me, I do believe in wholly giving the original person who posted stuff full on credit. You mention them, you do it over and over again. Hey, thank you for providing the video. Here's the credit to where you can actually go see this guy's original content, the place where I'm getting it from. But so far as asking permission to do something, that to me is kind of sort of a dicey area. Because is it really... And a lot of people will try to claim, well, copyright infringement. It was like, well, be transformative. It is not really copyright infringement. It's one of those things where it's like, it's polite to do it, but is it really necessary? No. But again, it's nice to do it. It establishes some kind of professional rapport with somebody. And you're not always on. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. For people that are coming up, you're not always going to get a yes. Sometimes you're going to get a no, and it just kind of sort of scraps the whole video idea that you had for it, and you kind of sort of have to maneuver around it. Which, yeah, you could argue helps you with creativity, but at the same time, like I said, for me, it's a gray area. Do you need to ask for permission? Not necessarily. Is it polite, professional, and courteous to ask for one? Yes. Just at the end of the day, be transformative with what you're doing.
But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now, understandably, this made a lot of people angry, because why should these content thieves, essentially, get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening? I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this, and no, it's not right.
Also, real quick, the reason why we have a lot of these copyright laws in place, you could actually argue to say, if I could properly remember, or not a lot of these copyright laws, but why YouTube was crazy about copyright. Again, I was around since the original inception of YouTube, and I've seen it evolve over the years. I know I'm dating myself here, but I still remember a decent chunk of OGs and the original content that was viewed on here. The biggest thing that came into problem was Turner Broadcasting tried to sue YouTube because essentially people were just uploading Turner Broadcasting shit on YouTube for free. So instead of cable getting its cut, it was just all going to YouTube, and cable was losing money. So you start getting into that territory of who owns it and can you really do it without being transformative. And copyright has since... It hasn't really caught up, but that is an area to where you can expect to do things. But just a little bit of a history, or at least a research point for a lot of people who may be curious as to why YouTube has kind of sort of stricter copyright protections as of now. Obviously, protect the companies, but originally, if I remember correctly, and please double check behind me, there's a reason I say do your own research. It started way back in like 2006. 2008, I believe, somewhere in that time frame, maybe even actually sooner, maybe I think all the way back to 2004, with Turner Broadcasting or some other cable network suing YouTube because, hey, people are giving our shit away for free on your platform. What the hell?
debate culminated when XQC, one of the prime suspects, called in to my show to debate me, in which case I'm sad to report that I was terribly owned. So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright? Or like the fact that it's illegal, does that matter? That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't, because...
But that's fair.
Watch me full screen cam, do the fucking worm, then watch your
Do
prime...
that.
Then watch
Bro,
your prime content.
Do it for a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, okay, sure.
God damn, chat, look at that. Look at that. Anyway, back on subject. I do not remember this debate between these two. In all honesty, XQC, I wasn't really familiar with this dude until I think about 2-3 years after Overwatch came out and somebody just offhandedly mentioned him. It's like, oh, okay, that's real interesting. Goes to show how terminally online I was when I was younger. And, well, unfortunately, it's gotten a little bit worse since then.
I mean, that's content, man. It's original content, at least. The ultimate debate, bro. He hit him with the worm. Oh, why didn't I think of that first? I kid XQC, but he is not the one I'm suing. Despite my criticism, he's not a malicious infringer. But the ones I am suing, you'll see, are much, much worse. Now, ironically, after this debate and in the wake of this large conversation, the problem seems to have only gotten worse. You have people like Hassan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hassan gets up to go to the bathroom, or to eat, or to talk to his mom, or to do whatever, disappears for an extended period of time, and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
IDF had warned people to leave the area around the main airport in Sana'a. Then this.
Do not this operation will result in killings, hostages, and captivity.
Well, I've been seeing
And now we get into the meat and potatoes of this main freebooting content. And I want people to understand I'm trying to come at this from an angle of being unbiased here, but I'm also coming at this from an angle of actually knowing YouTube history and the potential worst ways that this could go, based on outside forces being as vindictive as they are, especially in today's economy where everybody's trying to be lean, mean, and the most profitable as fucking possible. And this is beyond YouTube, by the way. YouTube is still influenced by a lot of outside forces, to include cable, which I don't understand why, because it trumps cable hand over foot, but that's a subject for another day. So, freebooting content, in the case of Hassan, as you have seen with God knows how many fucking examples in the span of a month, this motherfucker just freeboots. He gets no punishment for it, as far as I'm tracking. He gets no claims or anything for that, as far as I'm tracking, as well as, well, his rhetoric that goes on behind it. As far as I'm tracking, he gets no kind of punishment for that. Okay, so what is there to do? Well, a lot of things, really, but most things you just kind of sort of got to start small. And this is one of the areas where I can actually applaud Ethan, because from at least a special standpoint of somebody who used to work at the bottom of the totem pole and has worked his way up the ladder, still working his way up, he's handling it in the right direction. He came at this dude as a friend. He came at this dude and everybody else as a friend at first. Cool, you want to ignore me? Perfectly fine. I'll come at you as an associate. You still want to ignore me? All right. Now that I actually, have the big platform here, I'm coming at you as your boss. Still don't want to listen to me? All right, last option. I'm just going to come at you like a fucking asshole. And I'm hoping that this entire thing will send ripple effects throughout the entire commentary community, like he will say in the future, not in a negative way, but in a way that will actually put people on edge and give a little bit of a second thought on how they want to present their content. Because when you do this YouTube thing, even though my channel is at this point, I think microscopic, I have like 25 viewers. Okay, check Raj, fine. It's not that hard. It's only hard if you make it hard, like how I'm doing it right now, but it's not really that hard, even if you want to give a little bit of input. I don't understand how this is allowed. And even still, as an extension to Twitch, which is, I tried playing Kingdom Hearts on Twitch. and I tried using it to download a VOD. I forgot to do it one day, and Twitch vehemently came through and nixed all of the music on the video game that they said was fine. I think I was playing Kingdom Hearts at the time. They nixed all of that music, and I essentially just had a ruined VOD because I had half of the game where there was no audio commentary, which I think I should start getting back into gameplay commentaries. I also know I need to do more art stuff. Don't worry, we'll get back into it. I've also been talking for too long, but I apologize. But yeah, this whole thing, I'm glad that he's doing this. I'm glad he's pointing it out. Hopefully everybody else is on the same page and everybody can actually further understand, hey, look, we as commentators, if we want to survive in this ecosystem, whether you're doing this for profit, non-profit, or just to get your voice out there, if we want to survive in this ecosystem, there is a clear set list of unwritten rules. Obey the unwritten rules or get fucked. Dot blank and simple. There's no two ways about it.
It was in this setting that I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined.
I'm also going to say this for a lot of people. If you have not watched the Content Nuke and you just want like a, not even a brief, but like a 2-hour passive summary of the beef between H3 and the rest of the commentary community that he's beefing with, there's a quick summary for you. Again, it's 2 hours. You just put it on the background and listen to it. Again, I'm not trying to take objective sides here, but outside looking in, I will say, again, H3 is in the right. The other side is very clearly in the wrong. You guys are a bunch of rabid fucking animals. If you have an argument with somebody, a disagreement with somebody, then you keep it to that person. You don't involve the family, because, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing when I was growing up. When you start using dirty tactics, you're doing that with the understanding that those exact same tactics can and will be used against you one day. It's why we always said, if you have a disagreement with somebody, talk it out with the person. If it can't be settled, you ain't got to talk to them. You ain't got to like them. That's just dot blank and simple. This also reminds me of the, I believe it was a recent incident where there was, I think it was TikTok or YouTube beef, two essentially the uncles going at each other because, oh, well, I struck his channel and he ain't got nothing to live for. And it caused this man to go out, commit a double homicide on this one dude. Instead of just saying, you know what, I want nothing to do with you, whatever, throw the walls up. It just turned into some weird beef. And he ended up killing his wife also in that. But it's a tragic story. I'll probably talk about it later. Depends on how this kind of sort of video is received. Or I just might do it out of the blue one day. I don't know. I just did this because I was bored. Anyway.
Imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work. This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The Snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer. That's how I knew when this video came out, the Snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the Snarkers actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So, thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
Well, shit, that was fucking easy. There you go. There's the answer to your fucking question right there. Now, listen, I may be a little bit of an old head at this point, because, you know, I'm going on preaching around here about, don't you quote the old text to me, I was there when it was written, this bullshit. Listen, take it from an old head or somebody who actually has a semblance of common sense. If you're going to do something stupid, don't record it. If you're going to do something stupid and record it, that's already a code yellow. That stays between you and whoever recorded that video. And God hope you don't piss each other off, because that is what we call evidence for the future. And now what you have done, or at least what this generation, or not generation, but what this new crop of what is essentially morons, the low IQ dipshits that these people are doing, and this is all across the internet, by the way. This is on all social medias. My favorite one was the one on fucking Facebook, where you had what is essentially black supremacists beat up a disabled white kid. And I don't like really dragging race into this, but hey, they did that for a reason. It was plastered all over the place. So I'm going to call it for what it is. And quite frankly, it was an evil situation, and all three of them, in my personal opinion, should have been put in the fucking chair. But that's just my goddamn opinion on it. Guilty, guilty. That neighbor is guilty. I got the noose right here. But in the case of this, it's like, yeah, if you're going to do something stupid, don't record it. If you have to record it because, oh, the memories, don't show it. And for the love of Christ, you better hope that whoever's recording it is your bestie. It is a person you will ride or die with you for everything that you have. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you think you could have one of those? You probably don't have one of those. Believe you me, there are still people in the military, believe it or not, who don't have that ride or die buddy, and they've probably been in for like 10 fucking years. I'm telling you right now, a ride or die is hard to come by. But when you find one, brother, it's great. It's great. But with all that being said, yeah, these people essentially just snitched on themselves. At the end of the day, they snitched on themselves that they were doing this because, oh, well, we don't like this guy. And it makes it even worse because you broadcasted it on Reddit that you're doing it. Like, oh, how stupid are you? This is, I'm trying to formulate proper words for this, but this is just peak stupidity. This is why I have an issue. This is part of the reason as to why I have an issue with most people on this extreme side. They are so overly emotional with their fucking bullshit that they quite frankly don't believe in. Don't let that fool you for a quick fucking second, because all it is, in my personal opinion, is a virtue signaling grift. But they are so emotional that they skip basic lines of logic and they try to make it everybody else's problem. And it comes back and bites them in the ass later. It's fucking great. Anyway.
It turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denim's the queen of self-owning. You prevail again. There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating?
And there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the smoking gun. Congratulations, you played yourself. This is great. I love it when stupid people essentially suffer from their own consequences. Don't get me wrong. I do stupid shit every now and again, and I suffer from my own consequences. It happens. But when you fuck up in a legal sense this bad because you are so short-sighted and you just bathe in haterade, you drink that stuff, you sweat that haterade all day for somebody that you're going to find out later in this video you don't even have your own proper opinions about, or any opinions that you do have, you're just spewing out of your ass because, oh, well, it's against this other guy, so yeah, it's perfectly fine for me to say that, which is very fucking stupid, by the way. If you are one of those people, please stop. Get some help. Listen, you don't got to drink the haterade. Put it down. Put the haterade down, all right? Just, come on. Let's go. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. We'll be fine.
Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction.
Hey, I know I'm taking a lot of pauses in this video. Don't worry, I'm trying to get somewhere with this. But here's the thing, and a lot of people, or at least what these guys' de facto method of trying to get out of shit usually revolves around, oh, we'll just go ahead and delete the videos. We'll go ahead and sweep it under the rug, you know, just kind of sort of get rid of it. And here's the problem. You can delete the videos as much as you want, but again, as somebody who's been on the internet for a fucking minute, even without the Internet Archive, the internet is still forever. You think you're getting rid of shit? Nah, somebody gonna bring that shit back to life. We're gonna we will zombify that fucking courts if we have to. Somebody somewhere in some fucking basement has archived that shit. They've downloaded it. In the case of Ethan, hopefully, especially considering that Denims tried to sue him the first time over a false claim, mind you. My personal opinion, by the way, I'm not saying in any legal sense that it was completely false, but it is in my personal opinion that it was a bad and false claim. It was a method that she tried to use to shut Ethan up, and then she realized about 5 minutes after she said it, she didn't have any legal ground whatsoever. And if anything, I will say this, and you'll see it again in the video, if you've not been keeping up with this individual Denims over the last couple of weeks, this bitch is a clown. This bitch is a self-owning clown. I'll tell you this right now, my personal opinion, and I will say again, my personal opinion, she is just about as sharp as a fucking bowling ball. She is an individual who, from just a brief scan, and again, please do your own research, this is just my opinion of it, and she's an individual who used to be an OnlyFans, I don't even want to call it, an OnlyFans provider, will say that used to draw porn, allegedly, of children. Allegedly, I'm still sorting out my facts on that. This is why I say do your own research. I'm just bringing it up because I know there's somebody out there who's going to come around and say, oh, well, she actually did this. And this is how kind of sort of passing of information is supposed to work. It's like, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Now that I have a clearer term, I'll go ahead and try to search it on my own and narrow it down to double check to see if this will work. It takes literally 30 seconds or not even that, like 10 seconds, especially with Google AI. Well, I don't know. Google AI is still kind of fucky, but that's neither here nor there. But you're talking about somebody who is less reputable that hopped on the bread tuber train that is trying to essentially just do nothing for money. And I'll tell you right now, long scheme of things, ladies and gentlemen, these plans where you do nothing for money or you try to be an orbiter of somebody, it is not a good life to live. It is very much not a good life to live. You can go down YouTube's past and you can even go down to what I will predict is going to happen to her and these two other people involved in this court case. They will be getting their comeuppance and they will have to either A, do a very, very harsh 180, or two, just leave YouTube and Twitch as a whole. They're not credible whatsoever. If anything, they're not even worth a laugh. But that's beside the point.
Content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hassan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field. Now, before I tell you who the 3 people I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All 3 are on this list. In fact, they're the only 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will say it again. If you're going to do something stupid, don't fucking record it. These people are so blinded by their goddamn emotion of, we just don't like this guy. They essentially just gave Ethan the fucking case on this one. I'm sorry, man. Not a lawyer, but with what's in this video, ain't no way any of these people are getting off with jack shit.
As far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Casey Tron, the queen of ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Are you being serious?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who this bitch is. I really don't. But if evidence is to go by, when she is the queen of bong loads, well, that's a lie, because she just took one hit and apparently she's coughing her fucking lungs out. So she ain't the fucking. Hang on. Let me look this up. I'll tell you right now, she ain't the queen of bong rips, because one hit and you do like that. Let's see. Who is Casey Tron? Okay, Google, tell me. Ugh. What the fuck? This bitch look haggard. What are you doing? Honey child, what is you doing? You over here taking bong rips? Okay, first of all, I hope you're in a state where that's legal, number one, because if this is going to pop up in court, ooh, Lord help you if you're in a state where it's not fucking legal. You will have something else to worry about, not just Ethan. But considering that you took that hit, I can automatically assume that you're probably a Cheech and Chong ripoff. Not even a Cheech and Chong, not a good Cheech and Chong. You will be the F-tier Cheech and Chong replacement with the personality type of, oh man, I love weed and feminism is so fucking awesome. You should totally hop on it. All men suck. With the house that smells like Doritos and cat piss. Just random stab in the dark here. But just off of this, I know I'm reading a little bit too deep into it, but never trust somebody. Either you're new at fucking, two things. Either you're new, from my experience, or you don't know what the fuck you're doing. If you're in the camp of you don't know what the fuck you're doing, especially if she is quote unquote the queen of bong rips, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you're generally just unpleasant to be around. Just, again, my personal opinion. Take that for what it's worth.
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
Frogan, who bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom?
Ethan, let's keep it $1.50. The only thing that's rising with this bitch is that fucking calorie count, all right? The scale and the calorie count. Those are the only two things that are fucking rising on this one. And I'm not going to be unapologetic for this one. She's the same individual that said she hoped that soldiers, got PTSD and didn't get any healthcare back into America, despite the fact that this bitch is living in America, in the land where soldiers are defending her freedoms in order to say that. Now, again, she can have her freedom to say that, but there are consequences to being a stupid, fat motherfucker. And quite frankly, I think this lawsuit is just the right amount, at least on the first pass, to get you to straighten up a little bit. Or keep being a fucking stupid motherfucker. One way or another, hey, I'm not the one getting sued, and I'm not the one who has been a rising star twice, but still for some reason can't hold on to a sizable audience so I can pay fucking rent. But hey, that's okay. I know you have some savings tucked away, and I know you've burned through half of them in the last week, just, keeping your fat fucking face fed. It's fine. I get it. We all like food, but you might want to dial back on that a little bit. Swap out, the Uber Eats. Go to the grocery store. Go for a nice little walk. Eat a salad or something. Just dial it back a little bit. Dial it back. Learn to live in the lap of poverty. Learn to live in the lap of poverty. Go on the broke college student diet, which I think some of us have actually been there before. Not a very pleasant diet, but oh yeah, and be sure to work out, because Lord knows, if you're consuming all that fucking sodium and you're not working out, dear Lord, I feel bad for your arteries. Anyway, moving on.
Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please?
I know I just paused the video. Lady, what the fuck are you doing? This is your stream. You are a fucking twice rising star, and you're asking your audience if you could use the fucking bathroom. What is that? What is this? What is this? Fucking third grade? Can you use the bathroom? Oh, I don't know. Can you, Frogan? Can you use the bathroom? Can you use the bathroom? Are you not an adult? Do you not pay bills? Do you have to ask your audience for every little thing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is not cute. This is annoying. It is really annoying as fuck. I'm sorry. It's one of the things that pisses me off when people hit me with the whole, well, can I use the bathroom? I get flashbacks because all of my grade school teachers were like that. It's like, yeah, I'll show you if I can use the bathroom. And I think in 2 instances, I actually got in trouble because I was a little shit that pissed in the corner. But that's neither here nor there. I led a very colorful childhood when I was not on ADHD medication.
Please, I'll leave it playing.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And fucking talk.
You stupid bitch. What the fuck do you mean? Hey, what happened? You want to know how you can figure out what happened? If you just pause the video, like you were supposed to, by the way, and just watch it with everybody else. You have freebooted what is essentially, at least in my personal opinion, looks like 15, 20 minutes of content without even fucking being there. It's like, and you're okay with this. You're okay with this. You did something stupid and now you're going to pay the price for it. And quite frankly, you deserve it. Multitude of reasons. Multitude of reasons on this one, by the way. But you specifically, this one, you deserve it. It's not that hard to be transformative with content. It's just, if you want to talk over it, talk over it. If you want to stop and pause it, like hopefully I'm doing in this video, stop and pause it. It's not that hard. It's literally just asserting the bare minimum, and you can't even be fucked to do that. Let that be a lesson for everybody else out there. A little bit of effort goes a long goddamn way, and it saves you from getting entangled in stupid shit like how her, Denims, and crap, I forgot who this. No, it's her, Denims, and Caseytron. Like how these three morons are about to go through. A little bit of effort goes a long way. Not that hard. It also pays if you know you don't hate everything about the current, place that you live in, but that's neither here nor there.
And Denims, the queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my God, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro? I'm so sweaty, bro. I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just a Yemeni kid with a gun and
And again, I know I'm pausing it a lot, but I have a lot I really want to say about this, and I'm trying to do it like close to the minute. This is the thing that really pisses me the fuck off when it comes to not only Hassan, but also his immediate group of low-hanging fruit orbiters that are about to be essentially trimmed from the tree, in my personal opinion. Oh no, all this is fake. All of this is not true. Where's your evidence for this? Here is all of the evidence and all of the proof that has been gathered up across the globe. Oh, well, all of those are fake. They don't exist. I'm going to tell you right now, I have, in my career, worked for quite a few establishments where the bare minimum of you finding any sort of evidence would have been nothing short of what is essentially a 20-page dissertation explaining the one thing. This is one thing, mind you, in one sentence to the main person that is reading your report. And they did that for a multitude of reasons. I personally thought it was a pain in the ass, but they paid me to do it. And quite frankly, after doing that shit like 3 or 4 times, it got tremendously fucking easier because then I just streamlined the whole process. But it's disingenuous, it's dishonest, and quite frankly, in my personal opinion, it is what makes people dumber. I don't really like the whole idea of the, oh, just trust me, bro, mentality. Now, are there people who actually know what the fuck that they're talking about? Yes, there are some people that know that. However, it would still be in your best interest as an individual to trust but verify that information. Trust but verify that information. There are very, 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 very few instances that should be overlooked. And we're talking straight life or death situations that I unfortunately have been in, I think twice in this lifetime, but that's neither here nor there. But there are very few instances where you will not have the time to look up that information, especially if you have this thing called Google in your pocket on your phone. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It's why at the start of my videos, I keep telling you guys, hey, look, I'm going to be wrong. Look up the information for yourself. I know I'm here to try to explain this stuff in more chewable terms, so that way, you're not sitting there. Who knows? Most of you probably don't even like reading. Even for me, I still don't like reading. I listen to most of my stuff on audio, but I will still come back and I will just verify, hey, is this the correct information that I've read? It takes 5 minutes out of my day. I'm not doing anything else, so why the hell not? But this is the thing that ultimately pisses me off with this group and why I'm kind of sort of happy that they're getting sued. Not for what I want them to get sued for, but I'm low-key happy that they are getting sued. You're given resources, especially direct witnesses, direct wording. Hey, look, this is how it is. and you're denying it because you don't want the other person to be right. That's not a matter of haterade. That's a matter of you just being a dumb motherfucker. And you're making everybody else around you dumb because you don't want to do the bare minimum that would make you a somewhat decent human being. That's what throws me in for a loop.
He's not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a look at the complaints. And let's start with my favorite of the three, the very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Casey Tron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you think? Why are you so comfortable? We've given each complaint a clever little title, and here's Casey Tron's. She smoked more than she spoke. Casey Tron smokes 42 times during her.
Don't get me wrong, there was a time in my life where when I was much younger, although at that time I still couldn't do it, where I thought, hey man, you know, people are just going to do shit. I'm still of that mindset, mind you, but it's a little different. But people are just going to do whatever the fuck they're going to do. And regardless of what laws you have in place, they're going to find a way to do it if they really want it that bad. Needless to say, I disagree with a lot of gun laws, but hey, that's just neither here nor there. Personal opinions, but that's, again, neither here nor there. In the case of Casey Tron, and I'm talking about beyond this lawsuit and his example. Look, it's very clear that you have some kind of addiction to weed. I'm trying to be unbiasedly sympathetic here, but it's very clear that you have some kind of addiction, and I sincerely do hope that you get some help for it. I know for a lot of people, probably yourself included, you're using it as a crutch, or I don't know, you might get some cold sweats if you wean off of it, but that is not a healthy way to live. Yes, I know you have other people in your life that's done this for like what, so many years and nothing's really happened to them. But you need to actually take a look at yourself in this video with what you're doing. Now, with all of this, I'd imagine that the behavior has probably not gotten any better. This is just from my armchair analysis. I am unfortunately combat lifesaver certified, but I am not, repeat, not a full-on medic. I can plug a hole in you, and that's just about it. I can insert a fucking nasopharyngeal airway into you. That's fine. I can give you a needle chest decompression. Iffy. That's fine. I can do CPR. Perfectly fine. But so far as all of this outside of my realm of expertise, but it is just of my opinion as somebody on the armchair is like, look, health-wise, it looks to me like you have an addiction to this stuff. And quite frankly, you're choking on weak shit. Look, I hope the best for you, at least drug-wise. I hope you can kick that shit and be a healthier individual. And who knows, maybe all that weed in your brain will finally start, you know, leaving, and you can actually think clearly about what you're doing. Because looking up at some of your information between some of these skits, you're not really favorably liked. If anything, you're kind of sort of in the same realm as Denims. You might as well just be a tit streamer. So if that's the route you want to go, by all means, go that route. But when it comes to the case of drugs, look, you got to stop. You got to stop. You don't need it. So far as drinking, because it's inevitably going to come up, listen, once in a while, perfectly fine. Obviously, don't get behind the wheel. Don't do anything fucking stupid. Don't record yourself doing anything fucking stupid if you have to do something stupid or you choose to continue to do something stupid. But this is not a way to live. This is coming from a genuine area of concern for me. And it's probably the only one that you're going to be getting throughout this entire video.
Her reaction. And just as a silly thought experiment, we thought, wouldn't it be funny if she spent more time smoking than she did talking? And thinking there was no way that that could be true. Well, we tallied them up, and lo and behold, there's 15 minutes 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote reaction. And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoking 42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
On top of that, you look a little haggard. Look, your youth ain't coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, youth's not coming back. Try to take care of your body as best as you can. It's part of the reason why I started picking up going to the gym. As much and with as much bullshit as I put through my body, I'm just getting tired of being fat. I know a lot of you out there are just tired of X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's easier to take care of your body than you think. Main thing you have to do is just be a little bit more active. Do some weightlifting. That's a big one. Cardio. And just stop eating like an asshole. And of course, stop doing drugs. Because I think this chick is like, what, 31, 34 years old? And that's me wading through all of the age that the drugs has added on to her. It's like, look, take care of your body the best way you can. Take care of your looks the best way that you can. But again, point of concern, you got an addiction. You got to get over it. You look haggard. You look tired. And you need to realize that streaming is not a forever career. Ladies and gentlemen, it really is not. You're going to be riding the high, but it's not a forever career. And in the case of females, in most cases, I kind of sort of feel bad for you because you're stuck either in from my opinion, by the way, my opinion, I could be wrong. You're stuck in the VTuber lane, which you last a little bit longer so long as you actually have some common sense, or you're stuck in the titty streamer lane, or you actually have genuine talent. I don't know. There was one female streamer I used to kind of sort of like tune into every now and again. She played the violin, and there was another one that actually played the piano just magnificently. I've unfortunately forgotten their names. I can't remember who they are, which is really sad, and that's a failure on my part. I apologize for that. But with females, unfortunately, from what I have seen, your market compared to the males are just, it's narrower. If you decide to go this route to where she's going to where I'm assuming she used to be a titty streamer or still is a titty streamer. I don't know. Something about League of Legends and having her fucking tits out or some nonsense like that. Your lifespan is extremely short on streaming. And it's even shorter when you take up all of these causes and all of this other bullshit that you really don't need to be taking on because you want to be a nonconformist that actually becomes a conformist. But again, stories for another day. Take care of yourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. She deserves to get sued, but at the same time, health-wise, I just feel bad for her.
Complaint continues. Indeed, Casey Tron is often too obliterated to comment on the nuke, and instead stares blankly at her computer screen. In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Casey Tron smokes marijuana, frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers, on 42 separate occasions. At one point, Casey Tron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
What the hell
you
is
kids
going
love anime,
on?
right?
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you look? You think I made this? This isn't a music video, Hassan.
And as dumb as all of that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're gonna watch it. What the fuck is going on here?
And just like that, I am back to being apathetic. You get everything, you get what you deserve. I mean, best of luck to your health. Hopefully the lawsuit will get you off of weed because you probably won't be able to afford that shit anymore. And you'll actually pull your head out of your fourth point of contact, unplug your ears, let all that weed smoke just clear your fucking mind. And actually, I don't know, restabilize to being a decent human being. Sorry, it was that simple. You had me just about sympathetic for you, and you fucked it.
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of you taking bong loads. At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a flying star. It almost got me. You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new nuke ethically. Hell yeah." Huh. Very smart to say on camera, by the way. She said, quote, "Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me." Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say? Dude, because he's cycling the same fucking points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same fucking points for the whole first hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds? It's been the same shit over and over again. This video could have been condensed into 20 fucking minutes. Like, what commentary do you want me to add by, like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, he's mentally ill, and he's having a mental breakdown and uploaded it to fucking YouTube? Are you gonna make at least one good point? What do you want me to make a point on?
If this whole thing could have been condensed into 20 minutes, Frogan, I'm not so sure whether you have this thing called a YouTube channel. You could have edited this thing down to 20 minutes and delivered commentary over it. And you know it's bad when your own audience begins to turn on you. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some comedians that has audience members turn on them. And if they're good comedians, they'll just turn it right back on them and tell them to go fuck off, or at least make the whole audience laugh. Like, they'll properly silence the heckler without losing their shit. And that's what I like about comedians. That's why I primarily enjoy comedy. They can take any situation and turn it into a good situation. One of the better people, I think, for it, in my personal opinion, was, crap. Why can I not remember his name? George Carlin. There you go. One of the better people that I can remember is George Carlin. If you haven't watched any of his specials, I highly encourage you guys to do it. Yes, unfortunately, it is a little bit of political commentary, but it's lighthearted enough to where it's like, okay, I kind of sort of get what they're going for on this one. And at the time, when I was watching it, not that bad, but the more and more you listen to it and you dial in what he's aiming for, okay, it's great. You can say the same thing with everybody, but I particularly enjoy George Carlin, as well as early Bill Burr, believe it or not, and early Chris Rock. It is what it is. Also, early Cat Williams before he decided to recycle all of his comedy specials. But yeah, there was some truth bombs that he dropped, and turns out every single one was true. Yeah, Hollywood's a little fucking jacked up. Moving on past that and back on subject. In the case of Frogan, yeah, look, it's bad when your own audience calls you out and you're supposed to be some kind of political commentator. If you're complaining, you as the political commentator are saying, oh, well, he's just saying a lot of the same points. It could be condensed in 20 minutes. Why the fuck are you still watching the same video then? That should have been something you realized within the, first 10, 15 minutes? The reason I say 10, 15 is because, you kind of sort of got to roll into a little bit of the meat and potatoes. But that's something you should have realized. And it's just, okay, well, I can't react to this one because to me, it seems like he's making a lot of the same points. Give a brief example and then move on to the next one. That's all you had to do. But you chose to sit there for an hour and 3 minutes listening to this shit. And based on the way the commentator was arguing, was arguing, you weren't doing shit. And you're a twice rising star. Hang on, I'm going to look this shit up. I'm going to, hang on, let me pull up fucking incognito mode on this shit because I don't want it tainting my main browser. I really don't. I don't even know how the rest of that shit goes. I'm sorry, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I am going to do the slightest bit of favors at the risk of making this video a little bit longer. Oh, it doesn't give me any fucking details? Oh no, that's a damn shame. Hey Frogan, where the fuck do you stream? Where do you stream, buddy? Come on, let me find out that you don't have a lot of fucking views. And yes, I know this is weird coming from me. I ain't got shit, but still. Oh, okay. Let's see. No, fuck off. I don't want to hear you speak. You have nothing on here. Damn. So I'm going to make the avid. No, shut up. Shut up, please. Sorry, I know that was taking a little bit long. I was doing research in the background. I know I'm a horrible commentator for doing it live. But I actually don't have any data to pull on how much viewership that she is pulling. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong area, so I apologize for that. But I'm making the avid assumption that her data probably ain't, that her usual viewership probably ain't that good. Because one of the most common complaints, at least that I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, is that she has problems making fucking rent. If you have problems making fucking rent, you're probably not getting enough money doing something, or you should probably put the fucking fork down and stop ordering fucking 6,000 calories worth of food. You don't need that much. Moving on.
Oh, I forgot. She also said, "Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing." You may use the bathroom, Frogan, although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and
apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happens?
And they were fucking talking about
you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it. They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people, Reddit people. I came from the H3 Snark Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while Hassan is in Japan. I'm bothered having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Every single time with the commentators so far, it has been all the same. They have been very outspoken that they are essentially stealing content. Every single one, they have been outspoken on stealing this content because they don't like H3 Ethan Klein, who, by the way, keep in mind, from everything I've been able to look up on this, he hasn't cursed anybody's mother. He hasn't dragged anybody's family into this, to my knowledge. Again, it's just been a strict disagreement with him and one other person. And now they want to completely ruin this man. Now, granted, he's making bank off of this, so one little video, I'd imagine, is not going to ruin him, but they're going so far to the lengths of actually having to steal from this man, which inevitably affects the paycheck, which inevitably affects other factors, which inevitably affect his family. It's all a trickle-down effect, but it depends on how deep you guys really want to go into that. But either way, you're going past having an issue for the man, and you're going to everything else supporting the man. Again, if you have an argument with somebody, there is always a golden rule. Keep your argument with the person. Everything else about it is off limits. Because when you start engaging in behaviors to where it's like, oh, hey, I just dislike this person, where I'm going to, lower the bar because I want to, kind of strangle this shit off, or you want to try to take something from them, you need to be fully aware. The rule can be used against you. It's not a one-sided thing. And that's the thing that a lot of these commentators, these guys in particular, don't seem to understand. Granted, these individuals are just low-hanging fruit because it is of my professional opinion that they don't have a single fucking thought in their head. They're just waiting for Hassan to say something, and then they just mimic exactly what he's saying. There are bigger threats, but in order to prune the tree properly, hey, you gotta kind of sort of start a little bit low, work your way up.
Up next is Denims. And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denim Street. Not only did she chair react, but she was kind enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you know that we're on Denim Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denims. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm gonna stream it. That is very explicit. Denim said, quote, well guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content. Your content? The Queen of Self-Own included a countdown timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
Right.
You do look
Literally,
better.
Mr. 305. I see it.
Dude, you should do this.
I have an alternate.
we're relying on you to stay live so we don't give more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Because I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but in the case of Denims, there's really not a whole lot of extra commentary that I can add on to her. She is a dumb motherfucker with no thoughts going on in her head. She has a rather checkered past, and she often self-owns herself. Most recently, I watched how she self-owned herself against Tectone, who was, after he gave his side of the story and comparing her side of the story, he was just trying to squash beef. You tried to make it seem like, oh, he was a reasonable person. You're a dumb motherfucker. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. You're just fucking retarded. Like, get the fuck out of here. Do you think... Get the fuck out of here. Go back to fucking OnlyFans. Go back to OnlyFans. Keep your fucking mouth shut. I think a lot of other people would agree with me. You really should shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop being so vindictive. Be lucky that you actually, you know, are getting some form of payment. Although after this, I would imagine you'd probably have to go back to OnlyFans. But we'll see how that works out for you. Obviously, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am very much wishing. What's the word I'm looking for? I am wishing, or rather expecting is a better choice of words, that they will lose this lawsuit, because in the terms that is presented to me, again, not a lawyer for this whole thing, they are definitely going to lose. They have admitted to stealing content, and in the way Viacom went after YouTube, it's essentially just those who don't learn from history repeat it, right? Hey, guess what? Ethan is Viacom. You guys are fucking YouTube. You're about to get fucking splattered, man. That's all I'm saying.
Let me also commercialize it by asking you to reward me financially for stealing his content. That is like chef kiss. By the way, Denims had a very successful stream. She had 43,000 people watching her live. Take a look at the title of her Twitch stream. Ethan Klein Hassan Content Nuke Watch Party. A watch party? I don't think that's fair use. Now, Denims, of course, always delivering the goods. She went on this dude's podcast to debate fair use. And would you be surprised if I told you she said a lot of incriminating things in that podcast? The queen of self-own never disappoints.
I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like, I think filler content, like, you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer, and I try to do it only when I do it with like Vox videos or Vice videos and stuff like that, because at least I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like a whole team and stuff. And most of those videos have like 5 million views. I only get like 500 viewers. I'm taking maybe 50 views from the video. It's a lot harder to feel like, I guess, bad about that. Whereas like I would feel very bad about doing that to like a single content creator. The majority of people say that they literally wouldn't watch Hell's Kitchen unless I was streaming it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm reacting hard enough. You know, I'm sure if you click on a random part in the video, I might not be saying anything, sure, whatever. And I might walk away from the screen. But it's about like the communal thing. It's why like fucking Toast started streaming Death Note. It's not about the actual show at a certain point. It's the same reason you watch shows with your friends. You want to watch it with other people. A lot of people go to watch streamers on Twitch for their React content almost as a curator. So they don't actually want to go through YouTube themselves and watch a bunch of videos. And they probably never will go through YouTube and click a bunch of videos. They like going to Twitch because they like to have it as like, this streamer is curating fun content that I want to watch.
Like, I'm
From
sure
the people that I've talked to, the people who watch Twitch content are specifically there to watch it so they don't have to scroll through YouTube and find a video they like.
I tried keeping my peace for a little bit of that because, quite frankly, I'm not going to lie to you, most of that is just flying over my head because it doesn't make any fucking sense. But two of them that honestly spoke out to me is like, oh, well, I just wanted to watch it with friends. Okay, so watch it with friends or passively listen to it while you're doing something else. Oh, well, you know, we just can't get a proper time schedule like linked up with that. Okay, so listen to it passively. That's not, in my personal opinion, a relevant excuse. If you want to watch it with somebody. Also, on top of that, isn't that promoting a parasocial relationship, which is kind of sort of bad? You're promoting this parasocial relationship with a bunch of lonely guys that, quite frankly, let's keep it $150 here. I'm sorry. That are mostly just lonely guys that are looking at your tits. You're always wearing fucking low-cut shirts. Come on, don't sit here and goddamn lie to me. Or rather, from my observation, keep it $150 here, you are mostly wearing low-cut shirts. You're appeasing to the guys that pretty much don't have a brain. You are named Hassan's waiting room for a reason. But further past that, oh no, I just don't want to watch it. Or, oh no, I don't want to look up this hyper-specific video on YouTube in order to find it. You know YouTube has a search feature, right? Twitch also has a search feature, but finding archived videos, or at least popular videos, specific videos, is a hell of a lot easier on YouTube than it is on Twitch. Twitch is more of a pain in the ass because you're pretty much at the whim of whoever's at the top of the fucking leaderboard that goddamn day, which is part of the reason why I don't stream on Twitch anymore, but also because I say a lot of stupid shit and I need to catch myself every now and again. I've gotten better, but I'm not stream worthy yet. But your arguments don't make any fucking sense. And like this video's been pointing out, it's also not fair use. Denims, you are reaching for every single straw that you can to try to make some kind of legitimate excuse, and there is no excuse here. You are dumb. And quite frankly, you're just stealing shit. I would actually have a little bit more respect for you as an individual. And I'm going to pair up with Tectone on here and say, you're just a fucking whore. I would actually have a little bit more respect for you if you were honest as a baseline for a human being. If you were honest, I would actually have a little bit more respect for you. But right now, all that respect is non-existent if it's not already in the shitter. And now you're trying to do this shit where it's like, oh no, I'm trying to legitimize, all these reasons for bullshit reasons that really don't make a whole hell of a lot of sense because this isn't the fucking 90s where everything was hyper specialized. It's like, no, everything has a purpose. It just depends on if you're willing to spend an extra 2 seconds to look at something. It's not that fucking hard.
Someone watches content. I already said this. If someone watches content on someone else's stream, there is a very low likelihood that they're going to go watch it separately and give you like the view or the like. Or the people who are watching content on Twitch, curated Twitch content on Twitch, aren't necessarily people that would be watching content on YouTube.
That, my friend, is called theft. And you're a thief. And now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony to how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open. Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And I would never sue someone for that.
And I'm actually really glad that Ethan highlighted this. And it only goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that if you want to be successful, quite literally, just put in a little bit of effort. You ain't got to do a whole hell of a lot, but at least put in a little bit of effort. And strive to, at least in my personal opinion, I just add this bit on, strive to do a little bit better than last time. Just a little bit better. You don't got to do a whole hell of a lot. Just strive to just do that little bit better. And just build on top of that. For some people, works out beautifully and you figure out, hey, this works for me, this didn't work for me. But more importantly, when people make these videos, it's all mostly kind of sort of after a certain point in effort to chase the algorithm, and they kind of lose a part of themselves along the way. And who knows, if I continue this, I might lose a little bit of myself along the way, and which is going to be kind of sad. But this is also why, I get the fuck out of the house and I take a look at what the hell is going on around me, because it's important. Because yes, you are you and you are your unique you are the end all be all that channel brand, however, you're not above everybody else. You're still human. You put your pants on one leg at a fucking time. You still get shot like everybody else. You still can get ran over like everybody else. You can have a good day. You can have a bad day. You are still human. Don't walk around like your shit don't stink, like how these people have tried to do and very clearly have stepped in it. Probably fell in it in some cases. But again, I'm very glad that Ethan has specifically pointed out, hey, look, you can react to anything, just make an effort to try to be transformative. And that's very important for a lot of people to highlight, because a lot of people want to, for some reason or another, work in these black and white areas. And there's a time and a place for that. There's also kind of sort of gray areas, which is kind of murky. But I understand, just golden rule. If you're going to do something, put an effort to try to make it your own. Don't just take it from somebody else because you don't like them, or because you just have nothing to add, or because you're only trying to add one part. Say what you need to say, even if it's those 30 seconds, drop the video, walk off, and go find something else to do. If you want to extend it, find more. Make more of an argument. Not that hard.
Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video. You know, and to all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time. I'll see you around.
That was a little unnecessary for me to pause, but hey, it is what it is. I honestly have no sympathy for these people. Yes, there will be people that are decrying that he's essentially going after females. And he's already stated, hey, I really don't care. It's probably in this instance some of the most egregious examples. And from what I've seen so far, yes, it is the most egregious examples, because you have essentially self-admitted that you're stealing shit. You're stealing copyrighted work, mind you. So do I have sympathy? No. Do I feel bad for them? No. Are they going to get what they deserve? Yeah, pretty much. And here's the thing. And I think I've stated it before in this video. I might have deleted it with one of the earlier commentaries. Usually these guys, and he's already hit the nail on the head with one, they're going to crowdfund, because at the end of the day, I have a very sneaking suspicion that all these people ain't got no money, especially in the case of Denims with the shit she tried to pull with trying to sue Ethan recently, then walking off with the money before people realized, hey, wait a minute, what the fuck are you doing? And then she had to refund it. But I have a sneaking suspicion these people don't have any money. My personal opinion. So either they're going to have to go with a public defender, or if the socialist Hassan gives a fuck about any of his orbiters, he might toss a couple of grand their way so that way they can hire a lawyer. But at the end of the day, this is not a case that they're going to win. Mainly because you directly admitted to it. It cannot be interpreted any other way. So congratulations, you fucked around, you found out, and quite frankly, it couldn't have happened to a better set of fucking morons. And hopefully, to an extent, this also sets a little bit of a precedent, because, and I think one of the plays here is this, and I think it is with Twitch. If you are in a lawsuit, you technically can't have a Twitch channel. You technically can't have a Twitch channel, because you are in some kind of litigation. I think it's only for partners or whatever the hell else, mind you, some kind of high profile shit. I could be wrong. I'm still looking into this myself, hence why I say, hey, be sure you do your own research. But it's going to be kind of hard for y'all to defend yourself, especially if you have a public defendant. I've had to use one once. Never again, by the way. Never the fuck again. They work hard, but Jesus fucking Christ, they are overworked and overstressed. Y'all have fun with the bullshit world that you're about to enter. Casey Tron, in your case, maybe the lack of weed will actually do you some good. Hey, listen, Frogan, Fatty. The lack of food, in your case, will actually do you a little bit better. Swap out everything you have, you know, just get a little bit more protein, like one chicken breast in a salad or chicken breast and rice. That'll do you some decency while you're working off in probably debtor's prison. And the pounds will just, you know, fly off. In the case of Denims, well, reacquaint yourself with fucking OnlyFans. All right? I don't like making a habit out of saying this. I really don't. I know I'm a little bit of an odd individual. Just bear with me here for a second, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that every person on this planet has a little bit of fucking value, even if it's somewhere at the bottom rung of society or bottom rung of the fucking ladder. Everybody has a little bit of fucking value. But then again, every now and again, you run across one of these fucking people and you just have to question. If you're over here and you're, say, for example, on level 4 or 5 of your career, and you see this asshole that's on level maybe 6, one level above you or just about at your level, and you just hear them talk, one has to wonder, who the fuck did you blow to get to this level? You need to go back down. You have no value up here or for the other 3 levels below us. You just need to go down. Just remove yourself. Anyway, that's just my honest opinions about the situation. I know I'm probably not going to have a lot of people watching this, but at the end of the day, hey, it is what it is. I am actually really ecstatic about this, and hopefully it will get other commentators to actually, you know, be a little bit smarter about their decisions. There's a lot of bright people out there who want to try to start a YouTube channel. They just need a little bit of corrective guidance, and this will push it hopefully in the right direction and give them more of a stern idea of, hey, try doing this instead of doing what this other asshole is doing. But also, on top of that, if you are a frequenter of Nux Talk To, I will also say this. Operation Let Them Speak is about to go into full effect. Y'all stay safe. Have a good one. I'm out.